Hi, this is Jim with the Quickstart Guide of FI.js. First things first, we'll take you to the FI.js.net website. And in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see Docs. Give that a click, and that'll take you to the documentation. Left-hand side is a menu, and we're going to click on Getting Started. So this is going to be a quick start guide, and I'm going to walk you through steps 1 and steps 2. So we're going to download and set up the framework. Then we're going to run an application using test data. So step 1 is to download the FI.js framework from the GitHub repository. I've included a link in the documents, and then click the green button labeled code, and the last option is to download the zip. Okay, we'll go back to our documentation. A zip file will be downloaded to your designated download directory. Step 2 is to extract and set up the framework. So what you're going to do is take that zip file that's in your download directory and then move that to a working directory on your local drive. And once you get that zip file moved, you can extract all of the contents to that same directory. Next is step 3, where we're going to prepare the sample data. Next, I want to show you where the random generated loan data is, which we'll be using in our exercise. So I've included a directory structure so you can see where everything is located. The parent of the directory that you'll see once you've done your extraction is fi.js-main. And in there are a couple files that I want to point out. First is the data file, which I've been talking about. That's the random generated data, which we're going to use in a moment. And while we're talking about directory structures, there's also, I want to show you where you can find the Quickstart demo. It's in a folder under the parent called apps, and then there's another subfolder called demos, and in there is quickstart.html. Okay, let's go back to randomgeneratedloandata.csv in the data folder. You can leave it in that folder if you like. You can move it to another folder, but keep it on your computer. Note that all the data processing and storage occurs locally on your machine, which minimizes the risk of data breaches. By keeping the data within a local environment, FI.js prevents unauthorized access and interception. We've made it to step 4, and we're going to open the application in a browser. To do that, we're going to find our quickstart.html document. We're going to give that a double click. Alternatively, you can right click on the file and select Open With and choose your preferred browser. At this point, I'm going to go to the Quickstart application. You can see that on your screen right now. A couple of things I wanted to show you is there's a little green indicator here. It means that all the connections are a go. So here's our configuration. And in here is the description. The description allows users to describe their app to make it easier to understand and to share with others. This section specifies the dependent APIs and libraries that this app needs to run. Libraries are a collection of central dependencies. These are functions and attributes and dictionaries, which are assembled for specific functionalities that help maintain code organization and reusability. In this example, we're going to use average balance, and you'll see that in just a moment. That's a function within the financial library, and you can see that the financial library is listed here. Okay, let's go to formulas. Formulas act as the kernel of the FI.js framework. They coordinate the interaction between the raw data, the libraries, which I've described, other advanced operations, and outputs. Let me describe the formula on your screen with a bit more detail here. So the first thing I want to show you is this object, and it's called loan.open. The parent of that object before the period is loan, and that is the source of information. So we're going to pull in randomly generated data that I mentioned. And the child of this object after the period is open, which represents the open date. And the representation of this in the formula is if the loan open date is greater or after October 31st, 2020, and if that loan open date for that loan source is less than or before November 3rd, 2024, what we're going to do is present the loan average balance as a result. If it falls outside of that range, will simply be omitted from the operation. Next is group by. Formula results are grouped and aggregated by field specified by group by. In this case, it's portfolio. So in this particular formula, all of the results, which are loan average balances, if they fall within that date range, will be grouped together within the same portfolio. So you may have 2 or 3 or even more loans that are combined, and they'll get grouped, and then the loan average balances will be aggregated. The last area in our configuration is presentation. Presentation defines a presentation layer within the FI.js apps. If you define columns, for instance, like we have here, FI.js will create a table to display the formula results. If we had defined a form field, like an input, FI.js would render the results in a form. This is a very flexible way of presenting the information you want your users to see. In our example here, the Quickstart configures 2 columns to display app results, one showing the branch and one showing the officer. I'll show you where that's done right now. So this is how that is defined. Let's go ahead and run this and I can show you the results. Okay, the first step is there's an instruction here, is to select data from the secure source. So this is going to be a local file. I'm going to choose a lone source, and as you recall, that was on my local computer, and that was part of the sample data. And once I've selected the appropriate file, you'll see the lone source, then a colon, and then the name of the file that you've selected is right here to make sure that you got the right information. Once that's confirmed, you give Run Quickstart a click. Okay, let me describe what you're seeing on your screen. You see the title of the application here, and then you see a table that was created. First column is always the group by. Second column and third column were custom fields that we defined inside of our presentation, which was branch and officer. And then the results column is in the last column. I'd like to show you another feature. We can give this button a click here called portfolio. If the name matches with the portfolio number, it mashes it up and it provides the names. The other thing I wanted to show you here is on George Washington's portfolio, there's actually 2 loan relationships. It's indicated by the 2 behind the parentheses. So that's that group by. The last feature I want to show you is charts. You can create a bar chart or a pie chart. We're going to create a bar chart and we're going to look at branches. We'll give that view chart a single click and we can see the results by branch. And this is the average balance that falls within that date slot. And in this particular instance, what I'm going to do off screen is to find the list of all the branches, and we can see that the names mash up with the branch numbers. I hope you enjoyed the Quick Start guide, and if you'd like to sign up to join our community or get more information, you can do that from the website. You can see the join now, and also on the video, you'll see a link to subscribe, so give that a click for us. Thanks a million for watching, and we'll see you soon.